Hello, this is Noah Polkamp-Hart coming to you live with Nova Scotia Tattoo Forum TV. Tonight I'm interviewing my friend. Could you tell us your name, sir?
My name is Rafael MacDonald. Raf's good though.
Alright, you want to head inside?
Yeah.
Get down to business. You told us your name.
Yeah?
You're from the area, Halifax, Nova Scotia. So we're talking about tattoos. Could you tell us, Raf, do you have any tattoos?
Yeah, I have 4 tattoos.
Okay. So tell us, let's talk about them maybe perhaps chronologically. What was your first tattoo? Can you tell us a bit about that?
The first tattoo I got, I was 15 years old. It was the August before going into high school. And I had wanted a tattoo for a very long time, since I was about 10 years old. And I was with my mother and my godmother at the time, and my godmother had a little bit of work done, or she was getting a little bit of work retouched up. And so we were at the parlor, and my mom said, she just comes to me and says, do you want one? And I was like, heck yeah, I do. And so she said, all right, pick one off the wall. And I had about 15 minutes to pick one off the wall. So I got this one right here. That's Roxy and Muggsy from the Looney Tunes. It was up there, part of their animation collection. And it's okay. I like it. It's my very first one. In hindsight, I wish I had a little more time to pick one out and maybe do something that was a little more original. But overall, I'm happy with it. It's been on me for a while, and I think I'm even to the point where if it started to fade, I'd probably get it touched up.
Yeah.
Just keep it forever. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. So we want to talk a little bit about what it means to you. So what you've touched a bit about that too. Tell us you have 4.
Yeah.
So could you tell us what would be your most meaningful tattoo, or do you have them?
Well, they're definitely all meaningful for their own reasons. I'm sort of I've looked into a lot of the tattoo history. I'm half Mayan myself, so tattoo culture is very important, and even in other cultures, tattoos tend to be very important. So I've looked into that, and they all kind of tell their own story. But I guess if I had to pick, I'd probably pick this one right here. I got this one when I was about 18 years old, and it was done by a gentleman named Travis, who is no longer in the city. But that's supposed to be my chest cavity opened up, and that's supposed to be my heart. And I got that when I was 18. I just graduated from high school, and to me, it's just I was about to go to university. I had made a lot of mistakes in my past, hurt a lot of people. And to me, it was just sort of about making peace with that. I was very upset about the things I had done. But I'm human. I'm human after all. I'm capable of hurting and being hurt. And I guess all I could do was just sort of display my heart there for the world to see. And so that was the very, very beginning of a very long healing process for me, I suppose. And so yeah, it means a lot to me for that. I think it's a very cool tattoo to begin with. I think it's original. It doesn't quite look, like what a heart looks like in a medical book. I like it. It looks more lumpy. It looks more like what you would see, I suppose. And so no, I'm very, very happy with it. I think just human after all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's really powerful. So Ralph, would you mind telling us about, do you have ideas for future tattoos?
I do. I have a couple. I have a couple tattoo ideas. One that I would really like to do is just sort of around my collarbone here. I'd like to get "Are You Entertained?" Tattooed there. I think it would be like I just showed you here. It would be a little tight with the spacing, above the skin folds. But if I could just get "Are You Entertained?" in sort of a nice black, font that was easy to read, it wouldn't be too cursive or anything like that. But I think that would be very nice, because entertaining people is something that's it's very much part of my life. Where I'd like to one day make a living entertaining people. And so the other one I have is sort of done in this opaque. Comic book style, from this kind of opaque comic book style, and so it's sort of a guy with a can of gasoline and he's pouring it on his head, and it's sort of just that moment, before he's deciding to self-immolate. And so I think like self-immolation is a very, very interesting. It takes a lot of gusto, I suppose, to kill yourself in that fashion, because obviously it's very painful, it's very showy, but to sort of get to that moment, I think it requires a lot of peace with yourself to say, like, it's not like you're hanging yourself, or you're slitting your wrists or putting a bullet in your head. It's I'm going to burn myself to death. And I think that to capture that moment, to capture that tattoo, I think would be very interesting. And in a way, a lot of the points in my life, I feel like I'm just a kid with gasoline and matches. So I'm trying not to step out of frame here, but that's how I feel sometimes. I'm just a kid with gasoline and matches, and so there's the kind of good side of it, and there's the bad side of it, right? Like, am I self-immolating for the good, or am I self-immolating for the bad? And so I'd like to get it kind of like a nice big one here. When I say the opaque comic book style, there's one comic I can think of in particular. It's called Kingdom Come. It's a DC comic sort of about Superman and Batman in old age, but the artwork in it I thought was very beautiful. Very sort of like an American Gothic style artwork. When I say that, I mean the painting of the two old people, just sort of like this opaque, painterly style. So I'd like to get that, and I think, I think that. So those are really the two that I have in mind right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little. You just talked about this a little before. Would you mind telling your idea for when you die, what you want to have done?
Right. So I've kind of had this idea for a while. Obviously, the tattoos mean a lot to me, and I feel, in a way, they kind of record a lot of my story and like important moments in my life. So I guess what I want to do when I die, it's kind of morbid, but unless I die very suddenly, I'd like to one day like kind of write my autobiography and talk about the life I've lived. Because I think like it's not like a super interesting life. It's not like a life where I've accomplished a lot or maybe changed the world, but I think it's a life where I've done and seen some interesting things, and maybe people will get a kick out of it. So I'd like to write my own autobiography one day, and the very first edition, with the very first printing, like 0001, that one book, I'd like to have my skin turned into leather, and I'd like that leather to be used to bind the book. And so like it would have all my tattoos on it, and then in this book would be my life story. And I think that'd be and the very central image would be, my heart there. And I just call the book Rafael MacDonald. And then, and I don't know who would want the book, but that would be it. And then maybe other editions would just have like the pictures of it, or if I get other editions, I don't know, I'll be dead, so I don't care. But yeah, so like, it's kind of like this idea I heard, I was doing some research about, the Nazi death camps and things like that. And I had heard one of the wives of a commandant, prisoners that she thought had interesting tattoos would have them made into like lampshades or books and things. And that's really morbid. I don't even know if it's true. It's pretty terrible. So like, I'm not doing that, but I kind of, in one weird way, like I guess I kind of see the connection between doing like a book and having like a book about me bound in my own skin. Morbid and creepy, yeah, whatever.
But fascinating.
But fascinating, I guess, yeah. Like what? I don't want to go in the ground. I know that, right? I don't want to go in the ground, and I don't really want to be cremated. Might as well do something with my body.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of like donate its art. A lot of people donate to science. One that donate its art.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's very. I think that's.
I never thought about it like that. Donate it to art.
It's a unique way of thinking, anyways. So let's talk just a little bit more, perhaps, about the future of where you maybe see, tattoo culture in Nova Scotia.
I think tattoo culture is only going to become bigger, more widespread. I can't see people making a turn for conservative social values anytime soon. So I think, more and more people are going to get tattoos, more and more people are going to get body modifications. It's going to become more generally accepted. I think you're going to see more talented people becoming tattoo artists and really seeing it for the pure, sincere art form it is. Because I think it really is one of the last sincerest art forms, especially when people take it really seriously. You know, everything else has been commercialized, and tattoo in a way is definitely becoming commercialized. But I think like I really hope with knowledge people will start taking it very, very seriously, and they'll want to get tattoos that mean something to them. You know, even if they're not, you know, I don't design my own tattoos. I have conversations with the artists, and they usually do that. But I think like, and I think that's fine, you know. But I think like really like what I hope is that people will see the sincerity of it. It becomes bigger, and it becomes like a really nice way for people to connect. And I think it will. You know, I think it can only go up from here.
Me too. All right. We hope you agree. Thank you for joining us here at Nova Scotia.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks, man.